welcome to day 2 of Torg Gaming Expo. Let's check it out. Okay, retro gamers, we're back with part 2 of Torg. So, day 2, what did you think?
I had a great time. I was watching the Dr. Mario tournament.
They did have the Dr. Mario tournament.
Yeah, it was pretty cool watching them play that old classic game. I wasn't ever good with Dr. Mario.
See, I didn't want to enter that tournament because there's no way I would have beat half them people on Dr. Mario. I think I can make it to about level 3.
That's like a Donkey Kong. If it were a Donkey Kong tournament, I'd been the same way.
I wouldn't have done it, but I love it, and Dr. Mario is a great game. And there was a whole bunch going on at Torg. There was also, what, casual play?
Yeah, casual play and the free tournament. Oh, no, it wasn't free tournaments. It was $10 tournaments.
Yeah, they had a lot of different competitions and stuff at Torg, and it was a good time.
And they had the free play area.
Right, and we met a lot of people, and we're gonna have a lot of interviews on this one here on number part 2. So it's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
And we also are going to have just different shout outs and different things that we're going to say and do on this one. So with that being said, we're going to speak to our 2 vendors that we met here. One is Ready Up Games and the other one is going to be Game On. So let's check it out. I'm Brian with Retro Trade, and I'm here with Zach from Ready Up Games.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Zach,
hey, nice to meet you, Brian.
Thanks for interviewing with us.
Hey, absolutely.
And can you explain what you guys are selling here today?
Yeah, so basically we are a retro and modern game store. We buy, sell, trade. We travel all over the United States and go to conventions just like this one. Torg is actually one of our favorite conventions that we do all year. We've been so hyped for this for the last year. We've been anticipating this, so we're excited to be here.
So what is your favorite part about Torg, and why is that?
So the best part about Torg is the relationships you're going to build while you're here with people. You never know who you're going to meet. I literally met a rocket scientist. I'm not joking, not making that up. I've met people here that own businesses much larger than mine, and they will mentor you. They will teach you how to scale your business. And also, the energy here is always just amazing. There's so many great people. It's incredible. Also, this is my brother here, Joey.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Hello, Joey.
Who are we talking
This
to?
is Retro Trade.
Retro Trade.
Yes.
Cool.
So basically, we're going to interview you guys for Torg.
Cool.
So your brother has been very, very helpful. Yeah.
Awesome.
And so we'll ask you both then. All right, since you guys are both here, what is your favorite video game console and why is that?
PS5 superior. No other console's better.
Zach?
I'd probably say the N64, just a nostalgia, very classic console, amazing games.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You can't go wrong with a good N64
That's
title.
right. That's
you know?
right. What's your favorite part about Torg and why is that?
Favorite part about Torg, networking with the community, meeting people who are way bigger than us in the field of gaming and selling stuff.
Okay. Okay. So, hey, listen, that's great. So, if these people want to get in contact with your business, how do they do so? And where are you guys located?
So, you just take one of our business cards right here. You scan the QR code. It'll take you to all our social media links.
Okay.
We're located in Marion, Ohio,
Yep.
143 East Center Street. And yeah.
You can catch us at readyupohio.com and readyup.store. Our Facebook page is Ready Up Ohio, and we're very active. And sell us your games,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
And if
That's
you
so
want
good.
first dibs, just comment on our post if you see something you like on Facebook. Everything gets posted there first.
All right, all right. So this has been Retro Trade with Ready Up Games. If you haven't checked them out, please do so. So I'm Brian with Retro Trade, and I'm here with Levi from Game On. So Levi, what are you selling here today, and what does your business sell?
Here today we're selling stuff all the way back from original Atari, original Nintendo, all the way up to PS5, Nintendo Switch, just a massive variety of video games, consoles, cards, all of it.
Okay, okay, and you guys have been selling that for a long time?
We've been in business for about 10 years.
Okay, that's a lot of time. So, what's your favorite part about Torg and why is that?
There's all the different collectors. You have people out searching for gems for their collection, people who want to relive the past, and even young kids who are getting nostalgic for like 360 now are coming in buying stuff to keep them happy.
Okay, so a lot of fans want to know, what's your favorite video game and why is that?
My favorite video game that got me into collecting and all this, I found Paper Mario 1000 Year Door at a yard sale. I'm like, that game looks fun. So I picked it up, played it on GameCube endlessly, and that's kind of what started all of this.
Okay, okay. Do you have a favorite console you like?
GameCube would definitely be it.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, that's a good console. So, how do people get in contact with Game On? Where are you guys located?
We have a store in Chillicothe and we have a store in Circleville, both in Southern Ohio. You can always message us on Facebook. It's Game on Chillicothe for the Chillicothe store and Game on Circleville for the Circleville store.
Okay, all right. So this has been Retro Trade, here with Levi from Game On. If you haven't checked out their store, please do so. Levi, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so the vendors. Two of the greatest vendors that we met there, Ready Up Games, which was Zach and Joey.
Yeah.
And they're from Marion, Ohio. So if you get a chance to visit that store, definitely do so. They were amazing.
They had a lot of good stuff at the
At their little
table.
booth there. Yeah, it was so nice. And the Turbo Man, did you see the
Yeah.
Turbo Man behind me?
It brought back that memory.
That was a good Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, so I definitely loved that.
Definitely a Christmas movie.
It was
that's for
definitely.
sure.
It's Christmas time. So
Yeah.
yes, definitely. And then Levi with Game On.
Oh, their booth was huge.
It was an amazing booth.
Yeah.
They had a lot of space and a lot of big things going on. They've been in business for 10 years.
That's a good one for like a
for
shop
a
like
retro
that.
shop
yeah.
like that to be going on. So, props to them. And they have two locations. One is Chillicothe, Ohio, and the other is Circleville, Ohio. So if you definitely get out there, definitely check them out too.
Yeah, these vendors were nice guys too.
They were amazing to talk
Yeah.
to, and we thank you guys both stores for your interviews and your time with us. So with that being said, we're going to get into the panel we've seen.
Oh, up here.
So the panel that you guys see above us consisted of such content makers as Dr. Scott,
Retro Rob.
and then Johnnygrafx. And what I like about Johnnygrafx is his name is based on the TurboGrafx system. that I've never got to play, and I'm sorry for anybody that feels bad about that, but I've never got to play it, and I really want to play that system.
I never played that at all.
So it's gonna be on my to-do list. It definitely is. And if you guys have played it, comment below and let me know how it is. And then one of our friends, I mean, I'll say they're all our friends. They're all great guys. But Technish from Cappsoffgaming, we're going to finish it off with him. And he was a very amazing guy down there. Very funny. He was in your face. He's just and he does a lot with youth, and he's an amazing guy. And like I said, I can't say enough about the entire panel. They were all great guys, and we got a chance to hang out with them. So with that being said, let's
kick into it.
Let's definitely check out these interviews. Here with Retro Rob. So Retro Rob, what is your platform, and can you explain a little bit about it?
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me on. Yeah, so I just stick to Facebook, nothing crazy. Just started it as a modding page back in 2018. I was modding handhelds and some system repair, and it just kind of turned into something way bigger. And so it's been fun. It's just for fun. It's a lot of satire. A lot of people just come to look at games of the past, it's nostalgia, and games of today and tomorrow. So.
And you do a lot of ads and put different funny things on Facebook, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I do a lot of ads in the evening time, some retro ads, and then everything else is try to be like funny and just cheer people up and make everybody happy. So.
Okay. How many years have you been coming to Torg?
So this is my first year. I was invited out by Mike Coletti, who, the organizer of Torg. He gave me a weekend media pass, so I was really excited to come out here, and I'll definitely be coming back next year, so for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, Mike's an amazing guy, and we're going to try to get an interview with Mike as well throughout the day. So if you could recommend anything at Torg right now, what would it be?
There's been a lot. I've definitely seen a lot of great deals on different game vendors here. I've definitely been trying to build up my GameCube collection again, and I found some great GameCube deals. A lot of the prices here are pretty reasonable, actually. They're not going off like eBay or anything crazy like that. And people don't be afraid to ask. If you're like, hey, can you knock $5 off? People will do it. So my goal always is when I buy something here is that get it for what you would probably get it online, but without the shipping. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah.
And definitely cash is key here.
Cash is key. Yeah, definitely have cash. So if people see cash, they're more apt to take an offer for sure.
Because these guys don't want to take this stuff back to the shop with them.
Exactly. Today's the day too to just get the deals. So yeah.
So with that being said, a lot of people like to know, what is your favorite gaming console and why is that?
Yeah, that's an awesome question that I get asked a lot, and it always surprises people. But the symbol of my page is a Nintendo Game Boy, and the reason is because when I was 12, we didn't have a lot of money growing up, and so we couldn't get consoles for our house. So when my mom surprised me with the Nintendo Game Boy, I was just blown away. Like, I couldn't believe we got it, because we really couldn't afford it then either. But I was 12 years old, and I only had the pack-in game, which was Tetris, and I played probably Tetris for like a year before we could get another actual game. And because my parents did that though for me and how impactful it was for me, the Game Boy will forever be my favorite console, even though I know it's considered a handheld, but to me it's a console. So yeah.
So these guys can all find you on Facebook under Retro Rob, correct?
Yes sir, yeah, just Retro Rob. It's the Game Boy symbol, like I just said, because it's, that's so.
Now how many followers you now up to on Facebook?
I'm actually getting really close to 27,000 here. I might hit 27 by the time I get home. So
as soon as you log on, you just get another 1,000 followers usually.
It's been growing insanely fast, yeah. But I'm always humbled and happy. I don't have a big head about it. I wouldn't have this page if it wasn't for those followers, and I love every one of them. So
Definitely. So you heard it first from Retro Rob, which is right now very hot on Facebook. So definitely check him out if you haven't. Give him a like and follow his page.
Yeah, thank you.
Rob, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here with Dr. Scott from GameCloset. How you doing, Dr. Scott?
Oh,
no, you're Dr. Scott. Yes. How you doing?
I am doing very well. I am tired because this is our second day here.
Day 2.
But I am definitely tired, but in good spirits.
You definitely are, and you always are on your videos as well. So you do YouTube. What's your channel about, and what are you doing?
Well, GameCloset is a comedy video game channel. Basically, if you like Chevy Chase, old David Letterman before he had his heart attack, and let's say a little bit of classic game room and angry video game nerd without the F-bombs on my channel, you've got me. Some of my stuff is skit heavy. I'm always telling jokes, and I review what I want, and whether it be new, whether it be old, and I try to push the envelope a little bit, but mostly I try to get people to laugh and enjoy video gaming, no matter what kind of gaming you like. And one thing I will tell people out there, like what you want to like. There is no right or wrong. I don't do RPGs whatsoever, or turn-based RPGs. I don't do JRPGs at all. It's not my thing. I don't do a lot of sports titles. But if there's puzzles, if there's shooting aliens, things like that, taking care of terrorists, that's what I do mostly.
Okay, and if you haven't checked out his channel, it is an amazing channel. I mean, I'm one of your subscribers as well. I follow you as well. So, have you reached any milestones or anything lately on your channel?
Yes, I was given the Humanitarian Efforts Award. No, we just reached 1,000 subscribers about, I want to say it was about 2 months ago, I think. And now we're getting close to 1,250.
All right,
yeah.
So it's moving. It's going up.
Yeah, it's definitely going up. And it's very humbling to me because I just am doing what I do for fun, and I just want to make people laugh. And then if anybody's coming on to check it out, cool, because I'm just trying to spread a little joy,
And your skits are very funny, and we've watched a couple of them too. And you do very good editing work on your channel. It's definitely, you can tell you put time and your own passion in it. So Torg, how many years have you been coming to Torg?
This is the second year. Excuse me, sorry, I'm clearing my throat here. Leave that in. This is the second year I've come to Torg, and the reason why I'm even involved with Torg at all, basically, is because of Rock'em Sock'em Retro in Bowling Green. I know the owner John and his wife Kayla, and they're, of course, one of the major sponsors of Torg. Excuse me, my voice is we're having frogs in our lunch right here.
And frog legs. That's
frog
legs.
delicious. But of course, and Mike Coletti, I know Mike through them, and he's asked me to be a media guest a couple years in a row, and that's how I've been involved.
Okay. If you could recommend one thing to do at Torg, what would it be?
Wow, there's so much to do here, but of course, there's tons of gaming, gaming booths and other things you can buy, T-shirts and banners and posters and all kinds of stuff. Free playback there on the arcade, like any great convention will have. But for my dollar, it would be the YouTube or influencers that they have here. If you've never met any of them, if some of the people, like whether it be Jay Malone of SquarePegs, or the immortal John Hancock, or GamerAhmer, Brandy Ahmer, or of course Mr. Rightway, Steve Rightway, all great people. And I've missed a couple other people over there, like Jeremy and of course Brett Weiss. And Brett Weiss is an amazing historian, gaming historian, writes fantastic books. If you ever get a chance to come out and meet those people, those are the real down-to-earth people that you want to meet, and they don't have any kind of ego whatsoever. And those are the people you want to come out here and get a chance to check out. Shopping is going to be secondary because you can do that at any expo, but I've never seen so many booths anywhere else.
I think they have 400 this year.
Yeah, but I'd say that would be the thing, the influencers. Now, everybody has their thing. Some people might be going for cosplayers and stuff like that. Also great people. But, for my dollar, come meet the YouTube personalities, because, where else are you going to be able to interact with them one-on-one, especially if it's people that you follow yourselves.
Right. So here's a question that everybody always wants, and it's hard questions for gamers to answer, but if you could pick one console, Scott, what would it be and why?
Wow. I'm going to modify your question myself, and here's how I'm going to do it. If I were stuck on a desert island, the one console I would take with me versus the one that I have the most nostalgia for.
There you go.
Because if the house was burning down and I'm like, I gotta grab something, the one I'm gonna grab is gonna be my original Atari from when I was a kid. So that's my nostalgia right there. And I would grab my mom. My dad was in the hospital one time, and my birthday was coming up, and she wasn't sure if we were gonna have a lot of money or anything like that for my birthday. So she bought some like a whole big bunch of games, like about 30 games from my cousin who didn't want them anymore. And she goes, I know I know it may not be something exactly you're wanting, but they're, here, they're, and I'm obviously like, are you kidding? You just doubled my library and I've got all these great games. And it's just like, those are coming with me.
Right.
Everything else, burn. But the console that is probably my favorite, the one that I have to have on a desert island, I would take the PS3. And here's why. As long as it stays working, I can play all my PS1, PS2, and PS3 games, and then I can grab my favorites from there. But otherwise, that's the one. That is the one.
Okay. So, Scott, if you could recommend to any new YouTuber coming up and help them with their channel, what advice would you give?
Never stop. Never quit. Also, look at the people that you admire and see what they do, and check out some other channels that are more like editing gurus or YouTube gurus, because they're going to help you out. Also, edit. Trim everything you can trim out that you don't need, because I'm not saying that you can't have a longer video, but if you don't need it in there, cut it. Also, the number one thing, sound. If you can make everything sound better, the visuals won't matter. But if you have a bad microphone, bad echoing sound, people are gonna just check out. So trim and good editing. Make sure you edit everything out that you don't need, and good sound.
Okay. So this has been Brian with Retro Trade, and if you have not got a chance to check out GameCloset's channel, Dr. Scott, please do so. Definitely give him a subscribe. He is well worth it. A very funny guy. Thank you, Scott. I'm here with Johnnygrafx. Johnnygrafx, so describe your YouTube channel and what kind of content do you make on it?
Well, it's really just kind of a mixture of informational, educational, and a little bit of entertainment, I guess, mixed in. I have a little bit of history with public broadcasting and stuff, so I think that kind of comes out a little bit. I'm very PBS-y about it, for lack of a better phrase. But really just examining games. I'll just pick a topic, like for instance, the best TurboGrafx games is a more recent one that I've done, or PS4 retro collections. I'll just pick a topic that I like, and I'll just have 7 or 8 or 9 games that fit that are good examples of that, and then I'll just talk about them and the pros and cons. Here's how they work. Here's what I think about them, and
Okay.
pretty simple.
Okay. So have you hit any milestones on your channel or any awards or anything that you have gotten?
No, I'm really still teeny tiny in the grand scheme of things. I have about a little over 2,000 subs at the moment. It's growing. I'm going in the right direction. But as far as milestones, I guess getting fully monetized was big for me, because that's what kind of took it from this thing that I work on as I have time for it to something that I can actually really justify dumping more time into and really working and seeing where it can go. So that would be a milestone, I suppose.
Okay. How many years have you been with Torg or participated in Torg events?
Well, this is my second Torg. I vended here last year, and I'm vending here again. Now, I'm not really a video game seller per se. I just happen to be at a place in my life where I'm just kind of curating the games that I have. I think a lot of collectors will eventually get to this place, maybe further in life, wherever it is. But a lot of people will get to this point where it's like, I've had 800 games for 15 years, and I've really played maybe like 100 of them, and that's kind of where I got. And I was just like, why don't I unload about half of this, more or less? And so that's just kind of where I'm at. And just unloading and just curating and just kind of focusing on just having the games that I really want, that actually I know I'm going to play long term. And saving a little bit of space and making a little bit of money in the process, I guess.
Definitely.
But after this, I really am looking forward to coming to Torg next year and not having any responsibilities like this. I'm looking forward to being just a regular Torg guy, just coming in, or maybe as a guest, perhaps if they wanted me, but not as a vendor next year. Okay. Now, that's not to say that it's not good to be a vendor here. If you do want to sell games, if you're in the Central Ohio area, this is the best way to do it.
It's definitely a very busy place.
It's a great, and I went to other cons, and I've tried it, and it's okay to go to other cons too, but this is the best one, in my experience.
Okay. So Johnny, people always want to know, what is your favorite video game console, and why is that?
Well, as the name might imply, it's gonna probably have to be the TurboGrafx. that was my first gaming console, and I some of it is nostalgia for sure, but I want to say that it can't all be nostalgia because the TurboGrafx library is objectively awesome. Like, there's not a lot of games, but the quality control on those games was perhaps too good because the library is really smaller than it probably should have been. There's a lot of games on the PC Engine in Japan that didn't make it over that would have done just fine over here that are also really good. So their quality control was a little overzealous perhaps. But the games that did make it over, I mean, Splatterhouse, Bloody Wolf, Legendary X1, Legendary X2, Bonk. I mean, it's just banger after banger after banger. They're all just really good and just timelessly playable. So I would have to say that. I mean, there's a lot of great ones out there, but that's probably my favorite.
Okay. So, Johnny, if you could give any advice to a new YouTuber or somebody coming up, what would that be?
Well, as someone who's not, I don't consider myself an expert in this area at all, with YouTube. With TurboGrafx, perhaps I am, but when it comes to YouTube, I would just say, just make sure you're having fun. I mean, if you're starting from nothing, if you're truly starting from scratch, like I did, just make sure you're having fun and make sure you're not, sacrificing too much in your day-to-day life to pull it off. Do something that you can do hundreds of times without getting paid for it and without necessarily getting a lot of views or attention for it. Just make sure it's something that you can have fun doing, and if it never goes anywhere, you can still be happy about doing it. And just have that mindset. And honestly, the less I worried about views or monetization or growth, the less I cared about any of that, the better it did.
Right.
So there's something to that. I'm not sure what that is. There's something to that, just being genuine and just having fun. And I'm not sure how it's quantified on the back end of YouTube, but that they know when you're just doing something genuinely, and that's, I think, when it actually goes somewhere.
Okay. All right. So this has been Brian with Retro Trade, here with Johnnygrafx, and if you've not checked out his channel, please do so. Thank you, Johnny. I'm here with Cappsoffgaming.
Technish.
There you go, buddy. If you haven't seen his material, it's amazing. Definitely check it out.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
So, you're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Can you describe your channel and the content you do?
Basically, if I want to sum it up, I do a little bit of everything. I am a retro guy, so I will dive back into old school,
right.
But old school you had not anything new right now. Okay, so you can even say 360 now, PS3 is kind of old school,
right?
Going back further and everything. But I think in a nutshell, if you want to describe it, it's like you're literally sitting on the couch with me.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
that's my thing.
Old school.
Old school,
that's
talking right. The local co-op type of thing. But I'm there, and I'm doing the typical things like you do in gaming. You're talking the game out. So I'll talk the game out with my series called Dirty 30. Whether it's an old game I'm revisiting or something new that just came out. I'll be just talking it through I would figuring out the game like anyone else would and everything too.
Definitely. And definitely check out his material. It's good material, like I said.
Yeah.
So have you reached any milestones or anything on your channel lately?
I mean, my milestones is that I'm kind of ticking up with followers, which is great. But I think the biggest milestone is that usually I'm getting a consistent view watch from videos, okay? I mean, there's every now and then there's a video that kind of flops a little bit. But I mean, that's to be expected and stuff like that. But for the most part, most videos I've been putting out, I've been getting a consistent view. Also, I'm on my 15th episode of my podcast. I do it with guy Retro Rob, formerly known as Retro Mod Rob and everything.
Definitely another good guy.
Another really good guy. He's been doing that with me for a long while. Knew him since the pandemic. He actually suggested the game Stranger Things 2. Okay. That's on all platforms. It's almost like a 16-bit Genesis game and everything. And from then on, we've just been really big friends. Actually, I'm with him for this event right now too.
Definitely. Now, how many years have you been coming to Torg?
This is my first year with Torg, so yeah, this is wild. The space, they said this is double the amount of space from last year.
I think 400 vendors today.
400 vendors, yeah, it's amazing. I was on a panel too with the squad, the Retro Roundtable with Doc Scott and everybody, Johnnygrafx and Rob and everything, and that was really great. So for the first time, especially being invited
to actually talk, and I'm not like, oh, I'm the ill guy or anything like that. I'm nowhere near that.
Right.
All right, but you know, just to be able to be recognized in that shape or form is like really an honor, yo.
So if you could recommend anything that you've seen today to anybody else, what would it be?
Yo, the vendors, dude. Yo, dude, I had my holy trinity of my holy grail. 3 of 3, God hand, got it. I got RoboCop Terminator, signed by Jay from SquarePegs, got it. Okay. And then finally today, right, as of recording now, I finally found Rival Schools. And like, you should have seen, I went live on Facebook, but literally I'm shaking in front of the vendor.
And all decent prices, too.
All decent prices. Like, I think the biggest thing I would tell y'all when you come to Torg next year, bring cash. Because
cash is key.
Cash is king, and you can talk people down further down when it's cash. I think it was like bank fees or something when you swipe the card and then like that, but cash is king. So a lot of my purchases were cash, so I got really good prices too.
Okay, so question everybody always wants to know, what is your favorite gaming console and why?
All right, so I'm bringing it way back, okay? I talk about it a lot. When I first was introduced to gaming, I had a computer from Radio Shack. It was called the Tandy 1000. Other people know it as the TRS-80. And that was my first gaming console computer. My dad bought it because it was like, oh, you're gonna be a computer programmer, learn DOS and everything, which I know. But yeah, that was my favorite system. Not only I only had a few games, so I had to like kind of program games for myself to play and everything. So that one's really near and dear to my heart. I did not actually see one around. Yeah, because that's like late 70s, early 80s type of thing. Yeah, older. Yeah, yo. So big one for me. Sorry.
Oh yeah, definitely. So if you could recommend anything to a new YouTuber coming up, what would it be?
I'm not going to say the typical thing. I'm going to say something a lot different. I'm going to say do what you're doing and do it from the voice that comes from your heart. All right? Inside of yourself. I mean, you can watch other YouTubers and see their formatting. I think that's really good and everything. But you need to talk from a place of passion that is deep within your heart at all times. And do not compromise your integrity. Because you can do the craziness and curse and swear and do all the nutty stuff or anything like that. But how long that's really going to carry you? Exactly. You know what I mean? How long that's really going to carry you? And people are going to eventually know, like, look, this person's
just saying random stuff.
Yeah, just random stuff to get reactions and stuff like that.
Right.
Do it from your heart and everything like that. Passion. Yeah, passion with balance.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Well said.
Yeah,
well said. So, I'm Brian with Retro Trade, and this has been Cappsoff Games.
Yes.
Definitely check him out. An amazing guy.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
You, man.
All right. Okay, so Retro Rob, Dr. Scott, Cappsoff Games. I mean, there was just a whole bunch of great interviews there. And so, Retro Rob, what'd you think of him?
Oh, man. Down-to-earth guy. The whole time, people would just call him Keanu Reeves.
So
because
he does.
He looks like...
you do. You look
yes.
like him. And you've heard that 100 times. And Retro Rob is part of the Metaverse Facebook, for anybody that doesn't know. But it's definitely, he's got great content. He puts a lot of ads, like retro
memes.
ads.
He puts memes.
He puts funny memes.
Yes.
He's a great retro gamer, and he's got a lot going on his page. He's got a lot of followers through Facebook, and he is definitely one of our friends at this point because he's fun. He's down to earth, and we can't thank him enough for just being the Rob that we thought he would be. Thanks, Rob. Thumbs up. So, Dr. Scott. Dr. Scott was hilarious. A well-winded guy. He does a great interview, and his content is hilarious. He is that funny guy that you just want to do content with.
Yes.
And he's always trying to get the funny pictures. or just the funny content, and I love his YouTube shows, and keep it up, Scott, because you're killing it. You are.
Yeah, Scott. When he seen you, he was like a little fanboy. he like starstruck.
Listen, it was just a great time to hang with these guys that we have watched on YouTube as well, and we have got to speak with a lot over the internet.
All the guys we spoke with, sense of humor like us. They can funny, joke around.
You know, most of these guys was guys we'd be on the couch with and just playing games and having fun.
Yes.
So Johnnygrafx was another one, and he's big on the TurboGrafx system. He's probably very knowledgeable, way more knowledgeable than me, because I've never played this system. And he talked to me and he told me, like, I got to try this system. I don't know what I'm missing here, and I can't wait to find out what I'm actually missing. Probably something else that I'm going to end up collecting for. You know, thanks, Johnny. I appreciate that.
Oh, it's not something else. It is something you are collecting for.
I collect for all systems. I have a huge room that's just full of all kinds of systems.
Yes.
So it's one of them things where it's just my passion to collect for anything 90s, late 80s. And I collect a lot of things, whether that be DVDs, VHSs, you know, game consoles. I love the 80s and 90s. That's my times. And with that all being said and out of the way, because I'm well-winded, let's get to Technish. So our friend Technish from Cappsoffgaming he's
heck of a guy.
He's a great guy.
Yes.
And he loves this just as much as we do. And there's not enough things that can be said, you know, about these guys. I mean, these guys are just, they're amazing people. They're fun. They're down to earth. And not only did we hang out with them at the convention, but we hung out with them after the convention was over. And I mean, it was fun. And these guys are now part of the Retro Trade family. And we thank you guys for, you know, bringing us in with you guys and just making us feel at home. I mean,
it did. It felt like we never. It was new friends that we never met, and
we known forever.
Yes.
So, you know, guys, you know, thank you guys, and as we were talking to these guys, and you know, getting pictures, and you know, shaking hands and talking retro games, I look over and I see GameDad.
So. Another one.
Another fanboy moment. So, but he was super excited too, and we had a lot of fun, and we got to speak with him, and he even interviewed with us as well. So let's take you to his interview now. I'm here with GameDad. GameDad, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, man?
All right. So, GameDad, can you describe your channel and the content you make?
Yeah, so what I do is gaming content, retro and modern, and then I do a lot of tech content like unboxings. I do mods for consoles and handhelds. I do arcade restorations, things like that. So pretty much anything gaming and tech related, I cover it on the channel.
Okay, and we have seen your channel as well, and it is amazing. Well, it is a really good channel.
Appreciate that.
So, basically, let's just say if you've hit any milestones, what are they?
Let's see. So milestones for the channel. I am about to break 8,000 subs, and I am currently sitting at, I think, around 3 million views on the channel. I had a couple of shorts like really take off on the channel, so that was pretty cool. And then like other milestones I'm actually like getting invited out to cons and stuff now, so that's pretty cool. I mean, I was going to go anyways, but it's nicer to be invited. So
right. Yeah, definitely nicer to be invited than, you know, just to show up. So how many years have you been participating with Torg?
With Torg, this is my first time at Torg. I was going to go last year, but it wasn't in the cards. And then this year, like, way bigger, and a 2-day event this year, I believe, instead of a 1-day event. So, yeah, I mean, this is my first time here, and it's been great. It's been awesome. Lots of stuff here.
Okay. So a lot of people always want to know, if you could pick one gaming console, why would that be your gaming console?
Oh, there's so many. I think, as a kid, because my parents never really bought me video games or anything like that. They bought them for my older brother, but never got anything for me. And so I didn't really have them growing up. But once I was old enough and had earned allowance money and everything, I bought my first Game Boy Advance. So that was the very first console that I ever got with my own money. That way my parents couldn't say no. And so probably that holds a special place in my heart is the Game Boy Advance, and it was awesome. I mean, anything that I could have wanted from the NES or the Super Nintendo was basically on it, and plus a lot more just great stuff. So I'll probably say Game Boy Advance.
Okay. And if you could give any new YouTuber any kind of advice, what would it be when they were trying to start their channel?
Don't worry about buying a bunch of fancy equipment. It's not necessary. It's fun and it's shiny and new, but it's not necessary. You don't have to break the bank. Anyone can start a YouTube channel with what they already have in their pocket always. They always have a phone on them. Just use your phone. I mean, and the cameras on phones nowadays, they're often a lot better than like other cameras you could get. So don't worry about breaking the bank. Just use what you already have and just be yourself, be authentic. Don't try to make videos for what you think people want to watch. Make videos for yourself, and like-minded people will find you. And I mean, with that, just be consistent. Don't make a video and then 2 months later maybe make another one. It's be consistent, whether it's once a week or once a month. Just always have a consistent schedule.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so this has been an interview with GameDad, and if you have not checked out his channel, please do so. He does make some amazing content. So, thank you, GameDad. All right, GameDad.
Heck of a guy.
Amazing. He's so fun. Here's a fanboy moment. He's so just down to earth and fun and just what you would think by watching his content.
Great sense of humor.
Oh, he's got a great sense of humor, and he's so fun and just interactive with fans and people. So he's definitely. If you've not checked out his content, definitely do so. And for all these people that are featured on the show, they're all going to be in the description below, their links. So, definitely, check them out and see what their content's about. And if you're any fan of retro games, same as us, click subscribe, like their stuff. It's definitely worth it. Anybody that I've spoke about, I watch their content as well.
Yeah.
So he was definitely worth it. So GameDad, thank you for interviewing with us, and it means a lot. And definitely keep up the good work. So let's move on to the immortal John Hancock. So a great guy, and I mean he was just fantastic. Yeah. And we're gonna kick into his interview right now. Okay, John, I'm here with the immortal John Hancock. So, John.
Yes.
Describe your YouTube channel and the content you make.
Well, I mostly cover retro gaming aspects, collecting retro style games, everything from Atari to Xbox One and a whole lot more. I kind of specialize in homebrew and aftermarket games, new games made for old consoles, but I've been doing this for 14 years, and I do an eclectic combination, and the thing that makes my channel kind of unique is the spread. Some people focus on Nintendo or Sega, and I'm kind of all over the place sometimes. I like the weird and obscure stuff, but I do have a retro gaming theme, and I talk about a lot of old stuff.
Right, definitely. Yeah. Hey, John, since you mentioned your homebrew games, you want to give the fans a mention about your games and tell them what it's about?
Yeah, I've been a long-time publisher of aftermarket games, and I make a series of Atari, Sega Genesis, and now even Super Nintendo homebrew games. And homebrew games, Block'em Sock'em is my newest release on Super Nintendo, and Game Panic 3 is a game I published on Atari 2600, even on the Atari VCS store. You can even purchase it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, John, thank you for that. And so how many years have you been coming to Torg now?
This is my second year, and it's just getting bigger every year. I mean, it was huge last year, and this year's even bigger. And it's just so nice to see a show in Ohio be so successful, and it's been amazing hospitality. I'm just having a great time here.
Definitely. So the fans want to know, if you could pick one console, what would that console be, John, and why?
Sega Genesis, and the reason why, has a thriving aftermarket scene. It's fairly cheap. The 16-bit graphics can mimic my childhood, and I'm just a big fan of the library. It was kind of more a grittier version of Nintendo. Take that, Nintendo. No, just Streets of Rage 2, Ghouls and Ghosts, Revenge of Shinobi, just to name a couple of my favorites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are one of your games that you published for the Genesis?
Yeah, Block'em Sock'em.
Block'em Sock'em.
It originated on the Sega Genesis, and now it's being offered on other consoles.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Hey, John, so if you could give any advice to a new YouTuber, what would it be?
I think just like being passionate and focusing on what you know and what you want to do. Like sometimes people, they try to fit into something that they're not, and just do something that try to film and do things that you're into, that you're passionate about, and it'll come through in the video.
Okay. So I'm Brian. This has been Retro Trade, and this is the immortal John Hancock. And if you have not checked out his channel, please do so on YouTube. All right, John Hancock. What'd you think of John Hancock?
Wow. For his age, he looks really good. Like the first guy to sign a Declaration of Independence? What?
I don't think that's the same guy.
It's big lettering, cursive, John Hancock.
Right. Okay, anyhow, this John Hancock is all about retro games. That John Hancock is not around anymore. But anyhow, both great guys. So, John Hancock likes to talk a lot about homebrew games. And he's a creator of homebrew games. And speaking of that, I got some of these homebrew games that he makes right here, Game Panic, and then Retro Game Quest, and Chaos, Game Panic 3, and Block'em Sock'em for the Super NES. So he creates these. These are his games, and we are going to feature these games on our Atari 2600 Plus show. So I can't wait to see your game work, John. I'm super excited about it.
And doesn't he actually have games on that also? They added a couple of his games on there also, I think.
I don't think they added his games on there, but I think his games work on the system.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so his games actually work on the system, and we are going to be playing his games on the new Atari 2600 Plus. So, getting back to John, an amazing guy. So friendly, so down to earth.
Yes.
And I mean, I feel like we say that about every one of these guys.
But they are.
But it's the truth.
Yes.
And these guys are just so fun and so amazing to be with. Like, these are the guys back when we were sitting on the couch with no internet, playing these games. These would have been the guys we were with.
I agree.
So, I mean, it's definitely fun times, and we had such a great time with John Hancock. And I cannot wait to meet you again, John.
Me too.
If you guys have not got a chance to check out his work, his link will be in the description below. Definitely subscribe to the man, because his content is just amazing. It really is. Another fanboy moment for me. So definitely check out John's work. Okay, guys, so that wraps up day 1 and day 2 of Torg Gaming Expo 2023. What'd you think?
Great time. Can't wait to do it again.
And we met some great people that we'll now call friends. And what I mean by that is, I mean, great content creators, such as GamerAhmer, Jay Malone from SquarePegs, Mysticles. There was just a whole bunch of good people, on day 1. Brian from BD Retro Mods. I can't wait to order, a controller from you, because they just looked amazing.
Awesome customer work right there.
Definitely. And then on day 2, you had Retro Rob. You had Dr. Scott from GameCloset. You had Johnnygrafx. And then you had Technish from Cappsoffgaming. Guys, thank you. Thank you for letting us be part of your fun up there as well. And just having fun at the event and after the event was just amazing with all these guys. We want to give a special thanks to Rachel and Mike from Torg for gifting us with the media passes to be able to bring you guys this great content.
Only downsides about this event, we didn't get to look at more.
I wish we got to spend a lot more time, actually being out and seeing different vendors.
Yes.
But we were too busy trying to get you guys great content and be able to see different things. We definitely look forward, and we hope we get gifted with a 2024 pass, so we could definitely go up there again, and we can document these great people, great vendors, and the moments that you have at Torg. We want to give a special thanks to Torg Man and the Hoarder as well for interviewing with us. So, with that being said, guys, I'm Brian.
I'm Ron.
And this is Retro Trade.